Over to you, Liz.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in today. We're so excited to make with you. This is one of my favorite ways to use my silhouette, using paper crafts and turning them into a 3D project. It's so fun. And I think it's maybe one of the, you maybe don't think about using that when you get your silhouette. You're not thinking maybe a ton about making 3D crafts with it. And you're going to be so hooked. If you've never done it before, you're going to love doing this. Before we get started, I'll tell you a little bit about myself. I blog with my sister Sam over at the Pretty Life Girls blog. We do all kinds of different DIY projects. We'd love it if you followed us over there at Pretty Life Girls. I'm here at the Silhouette headquarters, and so make sure that you are following Silhouette on Instagram so that you can stay up to date with all their holiday classes. They have one more premium class happening next week, an adorable burlap craft. So make sure you watch out for that and don't miss it. And if you have any questions with this class, I was just talking to everybody here before. I usually teach vinyl, and it's a lot more like cut and dry, simple to put together. This one has a few more steps. I wouldn't say it's an advanced project by any means, but it has a little bit more steps to it than maybe your typical silhouette project. So if you have questions, be sure and put them in the chat. And like Felicia said, this is being recorded. So if you want to go to YouTube in the next couple of days and watch it through pause and that sort of thing, it'll be there for you. But in the meantime, our McKenna is on the chat. She's going to answer any questions that you may have if we're going kind of fast, that sort of thing. Like I said, it's not advanced. There's just a lot of steps. So let's start by talking about what you need to get started, okay? Everything here, of course, you can get at Michael's stores. You're going to need some craft paper, cardstock. I wouldn't do anything with glitter if you've never cut paper before, just because glitter's pretty heavy and it can be a little bit hard for a first timer to figure out the cut settings. So I would stick with the cardstock. If you've cut papers before and done 3D crafts, go for it with glitters. So these you can find at Michael's, and they're fun paper packs that you can find there. You're going to need a snow globe. So there's a couple different options at Michael's for these. You can get, they had a snow globe ornament that you could use. They have these snow globes that have they're just meant for a snow globe. They're not an ornament. So on the Michael's website or in store, you can find the kind of snow globe that you'd like best. You could also, I did a project this week with their clear or plastic ornaments, and I tested it last night, and you can totally cut the base off of one of those if you want to use something like that. You could also use a mason jar. This is a little bit trickier because your base is made out of paper, so you'll want to make sure you do some stronger, heavier cardstock for that, but you can use a mason jar if you'd like. Then you'll also need a hot glue gun and glue sticks. You'll need a measuring tape, or you can use your cutting mat to measure. And then you'll need some fake snow and some scissors. And then, of course, your silhouette machine. We're going to be using a Silhouette Cameo 4 today to make ours. And then also your silhouette cutting mat. Okay, so I am going to share your screen, my screen here. Let's see. And I'm going to pray that technology is on our side today. Wouldn't that be awesome if it actually was? Okay, so here I am in Silhouette Studio. And first we're going to download our cut file, which is free right now in the Silhouette store. So I'm going to go up to the store. Here it is right here at the top, our free design of the week. And it's going to pop up right here. I've already downloaded it, but here you'd usually see a button that would let you add it to your card or download it. I've already done that. So I'm going to go back to my Silhouette where it will be in, or to my studio where it will be in my library. And I'm going to go to my library and open it up. Okay, so my machine likes to adjust my cutting mat to my Pro. So I'm going to adjust that, and I'm going to show my grid. Okay, so the biggest thing with this project being successful is correct measurements and then resizing of the house to fit inside of your snow globe opening. So what I did first is I measured the opening of my snow globe, which is about 2.5 inches on mine. And so I wanted my house to be a little bit smaller than the opening so it fits in nicely, it doesn't touch the top. So for my measurements, that was about, I want my, my house to be about 1 3/4 inches. So you have all of these different pieces here. These pieces here on the side, here, let me minimize some things, move it out of the way. These pieces here on the right are for your base, this long red piece, this white circle, and this red circle. Those are for your base. We're going to resize those in a little bit. Then all of these other pieces on the left are for your house. Whenever you're resizing one piece of it, you want to resize all of them so that they all stay the same size and will be put together easily. So I'm going to resize this down so it'll fit, so it'll be about 1.5 inches, just under 2 inches. And what you want to do is this front part right here, from this dotted line to this dotted line, is the front of your house. So that's what you want to be the size that you're measuring to put into your house. Does that make sense? So I want this piece from here to here, or this piece here from here to here, to be about 1 3/4 inches, because when I fold this up, that's going to be the size of the entire house. I hope that makes sense, but I'll show you what I mean. So I'm going to select all of my house pieces, because like I said, if you adjust one, you need to adjust all of them, otherwise they'll be off. And I'm going to shrink them down until my house piece is, I'm going to line it up here with my measurements. It needs to be a little bit bigger. I'm going to line it up here. I'm going to do it up here so you can really see it better. Line my dotted line up. That's about 1.5 inches. So I'm going to go a little bit more to about, let's try it one more time here. Still about 1.5 inches. So let's keep growing it. Okay, I think that's probably good. Yep, just over 1.5 inches. Okay, so now I have all of my pieces in the size that I want them to be. Now I'm going to cut them in separate sections depending on what paper I want to use. So I want my main house to be a different paper than the details of my house. You don't have to do this, but that's how I'm going to do it this time. So what I'm going to do is only move over my house piece. This is your chimney. I couldn't think of what that word was. Your chimney piece. And everything else we're going to cut on different paper. So I'm going to go and adjust. I adjusted my cut setting. I'm going to adjust my cut settings to textured cardstock. And then I'm going to, let's see, let me turn off my screen share for a second here so you can see. Then I'm going to come over here and take my cutting mat. I'm going to make my main part of my house this solid pink cardstock. So I'm going to put it on my mat. We were just talking here in the studio. They had a brand new mat that was here for me to use. But with paper, I found that a mat that's been used a little bit works a little bit better because the paper can really stick, the fibers, you know, can really stick to the cutting mat. And when you're cutting out little tiny pieces like we are today, that can really mess up your project. So if you have a little bit of a used cutting mat, it's a little bit better for these kind of paper. So I'm going to load that up. I've adjusted my settings to textured cardstock, and I'm going to send to cut. While this is cutting, I want to hear what projects have you made this holiday season with your silhouette? Are you guys making gifts? Are you making decorations with yours? What have you been making? I want to hear all about it. I made an advent calendar a couple of years ago with my silhouette that we pull out every single year. It's the coolest thing ever. I think you can still get, it's this triangle and you make a bunch of other little triangle boxes and put it in, and I think you can still, that file is still on the store. If you're like, well, it's part way through, just do the 12 days. You don't have to do all 24. That's a lot of work anyway, right? All right, looks like it's cutting well. Does anybody have any questions so far? Hopefully we are moving at a rate that you can understand what I'm trying to say. But I do tend to talk quick. So let me know if I'm going too fast. Okay, so we have cut out our main house. We're gonna peel it off very carefully from our cutting mat. One of the best parts about a silhouette is they think of everything. So when you're gonna do a 3D project, you have these, it cuts the little lines so you know exactly where to fold it. It's a beautiful thing. Okay, we're gonna set our house pieces to the side, peel off our paper, and we're gonna return to our studio, and we are going to continue cutting the next pieces. Let me show you. Okay, great. So now we'll remove our house pieces. I can make my thing a little closer now. Okay, we are going to move all of these house pieces, except I'm not going to move this inner door piece because I'll show you what I'm going to do with that in a little bit. So this is your roof here, your windows, and then these are like some little details that make it extra adorable. So we're going to move these all over here. They all should be sized to fit our house just right. And then we are going to send it to cut. Well, I'm going to put some, sorry, let me switch back over to, so you can see me. Okay, now we're going to choose our next paper. I'm going to do a pattern for this one. Like I said, you can do all solids. You can do whatever colors match your color scheme, whatever colors your kids like. But I'm going to do my details with this cute green holly paper. Okay, I'm going to load it into my machine. Okay, and I'm going to send my house pieces to cut. Okay, while those are cutting, we can start assembling our house. So we have our little, we'll sit our chimney to the side. We're not going to need that for a minute. Like I said, you've got these, is it scoring lines, I think is the term? Scoring lines that show you where you should fold it. There's also these 2 flaps, and that's where you can apply glue. So, oh, actually 3 flaps. There's a flap up here at the top too. So all you do, you can use a hot glue gun, you can use a glue stick, whatever your glue of choice is. Put a little bit of glue on this flap that is underneath. And attach it. I love doing these little houses with my cameo. I've done a haunted village with my cameo. I've done a Christmas village with my cameo. The artists in the silhouette store think of everything. Every detail is so cute. You could go crazy looking at all of the 3D projects and dreaming up what you want to make. And the best part about it is that paper is so affordable. So you can, if you want to make them all, you can make them all. Okay, so I attached this side here, the underside here. Now we're going to do our roof. Just a little bit of glue on this top flap. And fold it under like this. Okay. I also think I'm going to put a little bit of glue right here on the edge. Just to close it up a little bit. Okay, so we have our house assembled. I'm going to sit that to the side. You don't need to worry too much about how the top of the roof looks because you're going to put a roof piece on the top. So if you're adding extra glue to put it together to your liking, don't worry about it looking ugly on the top. We're going to figure that out. Okay, house looks great. Now we're going to peel off our paper. Whoops, do this very slowly. We have a little bit of attaching, but not too bad. Okay, little guy doesn't want to come. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to pop out all of my detail pieces. So here's my roof piece. It's got a little piece that I just need to pop off. Perfect. My roof piece. Here, why don't I put it on my pink paper so you can see it well. Roof piece. There's these little detail pieces that are for the bottom, and then here's the windows. I'm just going to pop out the windows from this. Have any of you guys ever made any houses with your silhouette? One of my favorite ones I made was the Halloween Village I mentioned earlier, but the cutest part about it is there's a 3D, I mean, I know we're in Christmas, but think about it for next year. There's a 3D graveyard cut file on the Silhouette store, and you make the graveyard and then the little gravestones pop up. It is the cutest, it's the cutest thing. Okay, so here's all my pieces, cut so nicely. Can you imagine ever trying to cut this tiny little details any other way? It's just so nice to have this machine. Okay, here's our round window. This is a little decor piece. And then for speed here, just because so I'm not doing this all day with you, I am just going to do the windows and the doors for the front. If you want to do doors and on the sides and the back, go for it. Okay, so we have all of those pieces. We're going to attach them now to our house piece. So this has little lines to fold it here at the top. So it's perfect right in the middle. I'm just going to attach some glue to my roof. And put this on top. Isn't it so cute how it has like the little scallop pieces? They think of everything. It's just so cute. Okay. Then you have your door here, and your little other scallop pieces will go on either side of the door. This one can go along the back, and I think I missed one. Let me see. I sure did. Actually, these are the side ones. That's what I missed. So this one goes along the front. We'll glue it down. Don't worry, this is a medium temp glue gun. So if you're like, she keeps touching the glue, it's not hot. I'm not insane. Okay. Okay, so there was a piece on our silhouette that you can cut the little white behind the door, but since it's so small and I'm not going to be using a ton of white, I just cut mine with scissors so that I don't have to run it through again, because I have quite a bit of other things I still have to cut with my silhouette. So this is just a shortcut when you're doing one tiny piece that isn't intricate. So I'm just going to glue this on the back of this. Are you guys thinking about what colors you would use? Because that's the hardest part for me, because like thinking about color combinations is so much fun. And when there's so many cute different cute kinds of paper at Michael's, it's really hard to narrow down what you want to do, don't you think? Okay, so I'm going to, after I work with the glue gun too, I'll go through and peel off all my little spider webs. But since we're all here together, I won't put you through me doing that perfectly here. All right, so that's our little piece for the top. And we'll do our little window. You can arrange these however you'd like on your houses. Like that, and then I'm going to do a window on each side of the door. one more on the other side. Okay. Okay, so you have your front of your house all done. Like I said, I'm kind of messy with my glue gun strings, but I will clean that up in just a bit. But isn't that so cute to have the contrasting papers? I love that so much. And this one has like a little bit of shimmer in the holly berries. Is that so cute? So if you'd like, you can continue adding your detail pieces here along the back and the side, add more windows, whatever you want to do. But just so that I don't bore you by gluing for 2 more hours, we'll get started on how to make your base. So we'll go back to our studio here. Okay, so this requires a little bit more measuring again to do our base. So I'm going to move this off. I'm going to zoom out so that I can see what I'm doing here. Okay, so like I said before, the hole on my snow globe is about 2.5 inches. So I want my base to be just the tiniest bit bigger than that. So what I'm going to do is do the same thing. You have to select all of them together so that they all resize together and will fit together well. And I'm going to bring it down to fit my cutting mat so that I can measure it. And let me make it a little bit bigger here. Okay, whoops, a little too big. Okay, so I want this inner circle to be about 2.5, well, maybe 2.25, just over 2.5 inches, because this is going to go around the bottom of my snow globe. So I'm going to shrink it down. I'm at about 2.5 there, so I'm going to go a little bit bigger here to a little bit bigger than that. Okay, I think that should be good. I'm not very mathy. I'm not good at this sort of thing, so this is new territory. Okay, so actually I'm going to make it a little bit smaller because we need our, we also need our little thing to fit on our cutting mat. Okay, so we can move these over because we'll need to cut this at a bit of a diagonal, like that. Okay, then we'll put our pieces back on here. Okay, now I'm going to switch to another paper for my base. I'm gonna use, let's do this one. Okay, take off my other pieces that I didn't peel off. Okay, so you're gonna attach your next paper on. Like I said, you do not have to do a bunch of different papers if you don't want to. It would even be cute to do it all on white and then paint them or color them with markers, have your kids decorate them. But since there were so many cute papers in the pad I got at Michael's, I thought I'll just go nuts. Okay, so I have my paper on my mat and I'm going to load it and send my design to cut. This is where it gets really cool because it feels like you're creating something out of nothing. Like you're making the base of this, snow globe just from paper, and it becomes something that's like functional and really, really cute. So I love this part. Here it goes. Okay. And like I said, you could use a mason jar or an ornament, a clear ornament for your glass bulb part if you can't find the right kind of snow, like an actual snow globe that's meant for crafting. With a mason jar, we can test it out, but I had no problem with the base holding it up. But you'll want to do a smaller jar. You could even stick something underneath the jar so that it's not like weighing down on the paper, which is really great. Like if you don't have time to look around for the perfect globe, you probably have everything that you need to make this in your house right now, and could do it with your kids. Let them pick the paper, or like I said, have them color them if you do it on white paper. Okay, so we're going to peel off, weed our paper. All right, so these three pieces, this is your ring that's going to go around, sorry, we're not going to use that part. That's going to go around your snow globe. It's going to be like this, okay? Then this circle is what your house will sit on. And then this piece here is your base. So the first thing you're going to do is there's these score lines here again, right here on this top part. You're going to fold them in just like that. These little flaps are where your ring is going to sit on. It's quite clever. Then we're going to fold this over. You can see here on the end there's a little tab. That's where you're going to apply your glue. And attach the ring to itself here on the other side. We'll hold it till it's nice and solid. So there's your little ring. And you can see your little flaps that you push down, just like that. Then you're going to take your other ring of paper and just apply some glue along the rim on the underside of it. And push it down on top of your little flaps. I need to do more on the outside, I think. Let me do that again. Oop. I thought the inside needed it, but it's the outside that needs it. Okay. Lay that on top of your flats. Align it so that it meets the edge. Push it down. And that's it. You have your little base for your snow globe. Pretty cool, huh? Okay, so with my snow globe, I have this little interior piece that I'm going to pop out, and I'm going to glue my circle that was cut right on top of it like this. Now, like I said, if you have a mason jar, what you could have done is glued your paper to the base of the mason jar, and that's how that would work.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead.
Liz, we have a question.
Yes.
So somebody said, why are there two pieces of the long piece when you download the design? I don't know if there were.
I didn't have two on mine, but you only need one. So just delete it. Maybe you're looking at the roof piece. It could be that. So here, oh, I guess I need to share with you. Sorry. It could be the roof piece. When you download them, they're all a similar size, and I bet that's what you're seeing, is that they look like a similar piece. But this one that is small now, but probably bigger when you downloaded it, is your roof piece, and this piece is your base piece. Is that anything? Does that help? Okay. But before if you're going to use a mason jar, let me back up to that. Don't glue this on before you glued your house to it. So, okay. So next we're going to attach our house on the inside. Something fun. I did. Now, you can find all different kinds of Christmas trees and different designs on the Silhouette store, and you can make this part if you'd like. But I have a paper here that I got at Michael's that has Christmas trees on it, so all I did was cut out one that I liked. Let's see. Yes, let's do this one. Cut out a tree to add into my little snow globe. You could also, like I said, download a tree from the Silhouette store, shrink it down, add little ornaments to it, color it, decorate it, whatever you want. But it just so happened that there were trees in my little paper pack. So I'm going to use this tree. So I'm just cutting around it so that I can put it in my little snow globe land. And you can be so creative with this too. I mean, think of like you could make a snowman. You could make people if you want to. There's so many, I mean, anything you can dream up is on the Silhouette store. So if you don't want to have to come up with it yourself, just start searching and you'll be so inspired. Okay, so I'm going to attach glue to my bottom of my house, and I'm going to push it into the center of, here, I'll turn this way. I'll push it into the center of my lid, my upside down lid. Then here's my little tree that I just made. And I want it to hopefully stand up. We'll see if we can do it. I'm going to put my glue. I don't want it to lean against the house. I want it to kind of like be its own thing, but we'll see if that'll work. I'm going to hold it here for a second. Just glued it right there just in front of the house. Do a blow. Okay, while that's drying, you're going to take your globe and add your snow in. So this is just your fake glitter snow. You can grab bags of it at Michael's. I think this is called buffalo snow. It's such a mess, so do be warned. Once you use it, it will be everywhere for a couple of days, but it is the holidays, so I guess a little more glitter around isn't going to hurt anybody, right? Ooh, I don't want to pull out the bag and have it all dump out, so I'm like trying to do this in the most awkward way possible to prevent any kind of actual glitter snowstorm in here, but it's not smooth. Okay, so I just filled my base with it. Looks like my tree is dry, so I'm going to stick my little guy in there. Pop it in. Okay, oh, my thing flipped up, so let me pull it out again. Oh, I'm gonna have to re-glue that. It was too rough. Glue it back down. I'm actually gonna cut around this because it's a little bit bigger than the lid, causing me some trouble. Okay. That's real crafting right there, people. Okay. I'll be more gentle this time, little house. I'm sorry about it. Okay. Then I kind of like to shake lots of the snow to the back. Is that so cute? Okay, so then we take our base, add our snow globe to the base. Ah, we did it. Is that the cutest? You guys, I love them so much. What do you think? Could you do it? Do you want to try to make them now? And what colors would you use? Oh my gosh, so fun. That's it. We did it. So, like I said, there was a lot of steps there. We went kind of quickly, but do you think you can do it? I think you can. So much fun. These, like we said at the beginning, this is all being recorded. So on the Michael's website in the next couple of days, if I went too fast or you're like, I need to compare her studio to my studio and make sure I'm doing it right, It'll all be there. You can also DM me directly at Pretty Life Girls on Instagram. I would love to give you tips, help you out, and the Silhouette people are amazing too. So if you need any help with your Silhouette machine, their customer service is the best there is. You can also DM them and make sure you're following them on it's at Silhouette, what is it? Silhouette.inc with a C. Okay, at silhouette.inc on Instagram, okay? If you want to find any more Silhouette projects like these that you want to do for the holidays, follow us on Pretty Life Girls blog. It's prettylifegirls.com. Also, make sure you're following Silhouette to see what they have coming up. There's one more premium class next week, so don't miss out on that. Thank you so much for making with us. This was so much fun, and I hope your holidays are wonderful. Thanks, you guys. Bye.